Hi everyone, it's Victoria Kennedy, medium clairvoyant from Los Angeles, California, and tonight's another episode of VK's Rant and Rave. I think I mentioned this before, but I wanted to do VK's Rant and Rave as something kind of we all pretty much think of, random thoughts, all those what ifs, right? Those questions that you have that you want to ask. And sometimes you think, well, if I ask somebody this, are they going to think I'm just far out there? Are they going to think I'm weird? Are they going to think I'm strange? Well, just know that in my world, there's nothing that is far-fetched. There is nothing that is odd, strange, or weird. If you can only see what goes on in my mind on a daily basis from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed, you probably would say, what the heck? So, tonight I originally was going to talk about portals, but I actually would like to talk about Justin Bieber. There's been a lot of talk recently about Justin Bieber, and I have to say, I do feel bad for him. I don't feel sorry for him, but I do feel bad for him, and let me explain my reasons for that. So before I kind of dive into the whole Justin Bieber drama, let me just say that these are all my own personal opinions. I do know that sometimes certain celebrities have people literally going through social media, anything online to see what people are saying about them. So these are just my personal beliefs, and then some. Okay, so anyhow, let's talk about Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber was discovered at a very young age, and I really feel that his parents wanted him to become a star so they pretty much can live off of his money, which is sad. And we've seen this happen before. We've heard stories about celebrities that they were millionaires and their parents were overseeing their funds, and now they're pretty much at the bottom of the barrel, which is, it's just sad, basically. So, Justin Bieber, he has made millions. He is extremely well known. I'm not a super fan of his, but there are a few songs of his that I like. But I also feel that because he was so young, once he became a part of this industry, not only was he extremely innocent, but half the things that he has seen at such a very early age, let's kind of throw Diddy in the mix. With Diddy in the mix, I'm pretty sure all these allegations that are being thrown against him, I'm pretty sure that Justin Bieber, if he were to come forward, he probably could make his own allegations against him. And I'm pretty sure we all know what those allegations would be. There is no way that a grown man who is a pedophile would just say, oh, I'm not going to do this to Justin Bieber, which I don't feel that's the case. So, when he first got started in the industry, he actually went and visited Diddy. Kind of stood at his house. Diddy gave him gifts. And it's all a part of the grooming that any pedophile, anyone who wants to sex traffic a kid does. They kind of gain their trust first. Oh, I'm going to show you all these elaborate places, take you to the finest places, basically. We're going to dine at the most expensive places. I'm going to show you, all these beautiful cars. I'm going to give you expensive, elaborate gifts. And again, that's the way that the pedophiles and the traffickers kind of groom the kids. So, do I feel that Justin Timberlake was groomed? I'm sorry, why do I keep saying Justin Timberlake? There must be a reason why. That probably will end up being another episode. Which, by the way, Justin Timberlake, I absolutely do not like him whatsoever. And again, we're going to talk more about Justin Timberlake on a different episode. But anyhow, let's get back to Justin Bieber. So, being exposed to everything that he was at such an early age, destroying his innocence. You got to remember that kids really do need to be kids. They need to be able to have their friends. They need to be able to BS. They need to be able to go and just be kids, not having to worry about everyday life. My son is 16. Well, he's going to be 16 in a couple of months, and he wants to go out and he wants to work, which I'm totally fine with. I'm not going to hold him back from that. But at the same time, I kind of want him to, I don't want him having to worry about the daily stresses. Oh, I got to go to work. I have to impress my manager or my boss, whatever, which, by the way, nobody should need to be doing that. And it just kind of adds to the stress that they eventually, one day, sooner or later, will be exposed to. So, being exposed to that level of stress that Justin Bieber was exposed to, it's not healthy for any part of their being, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, or even energetically. Being able to go inside of bars, nightclubs, go on private jets with adults, and end up getting drunk, being exposed to drugs and doing drugs. And again, these are all adults. So, do I think that Diddy is the main culprit in Justin Bieber's drama that he actually has going on? Absolutely not. If I were somewhere and I saw other adults giving a kid, a minor, any type of alcohol, any type of drugs, or just whatever seemed to be odd, I would have to speak up. I wouldn't just sit around, oh, well, let's see what happens. Let's see if he ends up getting intoxicated. Let's see if he ends up doing those drugs. No, it doesn't work that way. Regardless if I was a mom or not, kids have always been a soft spot of mine, and I would have had to said something. And no one can tell me that there was no adults around. These are adult parties, adult events that kids have no business going to. So, would it make a difference if his parents were there with him? Somewhat. So, if you have a child who's in show business, the parents have to be an active participant in their child's life. My son he's been in some commercials and he's done some other work as well. And the number one thing I said to him, you don't go anywhere without me. I do not care. I do not care what the producers say. I just do not care. I always had to be able to see my son because, in this industry, there's nothing but pedophiles. And for some unknown reason, pedophiles, they just pretty much get away with it. There's now adults who say that A-listers have molested them. And nothing was ever done. No one ever said anything. And it just continues on and on and on. And the same thing with Bieber. Why didn't any adults speak up? Why didn't any adults who were at these after parties or just at any of these parties, why didn't they speak up and say, you're a kid, you shouldn't be in here? Why are you drinking? Why are you doing drugs? Why are you throwing stuff up your nose? I just don't get it. So, if his parents were to have been an active participant, chances are his life would be much different. He might not have been as popular as he is, but who cares? This is now a man whose innocence was taken from him at such an early age. Like I said, he was extremely innocent. He liked to play video games. I mean, what kid does not like to play video games? What kid does not like to stay up all night laughing, playing video games, screaming their head off at the video game? So, sometimes we kind of look at it as, well, it's just a video game. But it's just not a video game. These are ways that that the kids are able to maintain their innocence and to be kids. You know, to go out and fly a kite, to go out and just kick a ball. And I can tell you now that he's not able to do that. I can guarantee you that if Justin Timberlake said, you know, I'm going to go fly a kite, everyone would jump on that bandwagon and be like, what the heck is going on with Justin Bieber? And again, I do apologize if I keep saying Justin Timberlake. There has to be a reason. This is going to drive me crazy. But anyhow, let's face it, you know, I really feel that Justin Bieber is kind of going down the same road as Britney Spears. Allegedly, okay? I have to throw that in there. I really feel that if Justin Bieber does not get some type of help soon, he's going to fall off that wagon. As an everyday person, not just as a medium, it is concerning. Because you can see that he is crying for help. Listen to his songs. Look how he's being now. He actually did an interview. I don't remember who it was with, but he actually was talking about protecting Billie Eilish. He's not going to let what happened to him happen to her. Okay, well, what do you mean? You know, is she hanging out with the same people that maybe you did? You know, so you really have to think about that. Look how his behavior is now versus when he first started. There's such a huge change with him. And why does this man, because he is a man now, he's not a boy, why is he always dressing like a slob? I don't want to see his ass. I don't want to see his boxers. Why can't he just pull up his pants and wear clothes that fit him? Everything has to be 10 times his size. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't like my pants falling off. I don't want my underwear showing. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand that. But anyhow, that's the least of his problems. But he definitely does need to get help. And you can see that he's trying to. He is, I believe he's now starting to go to church. Okay? Which it's his way of being able to kind of be rooted again within that foundation. Now, is church always the best thing? No. And I'm not knocking anybody's religion. I'm not knocking the churches. But there's other opinions inside the church. So the Bible has been written over and over and over and over. And yes, I'm probably going to get chewed out in regards to this. So when you look at the Bible, what's true, what's false? And for someone who is really trying to find that foundation, that foundation of God, what are they going to be able to teach him? Right away, they're going to throw, it's a sin, it's a sin, it's a sin, it's a sin, it's a sin in his face. What really needs to be done is, well, I feel he needs to have spiritual help. Now, there is a difference between religion and somebody who is spiritual. You know, religion, it's just back and forth to the same thing, which you don't try to improve yourself. Not all, but some do. And a lot of times people use religion as a crutch. Oh, I'm going to go out. I'm going to get so drunk. I'm going to do so many drugs. I'm going to have sex with so many women while my wife's at home. She's not even going to know. And they feel that by repenting that they're going to be completely forgiven. So with Justin, oh my God, I'm driving myself crazy. So with Justin Bieber, when it comes to a spiritual aspect of wanting to get him where he needs to be, because he's hurting so bad. Again, listen to his songs, look at his behavior. He's crying out. He is silently crying out for help. So if he were to get spiritual help, he would become much more grounded, much more focused. He would see the changes. Because when you look at somebody who is spiritual, they're grounded. And they're grounded because there's not all these rules that they have to abide by. The whole aspect of being spiritual is having that connection, that one connection with Source, with God, whomever your higher power is. And there's meditations, there's self-forgiveness, there's forgiveness of others. It's just this whole thing that kind of takes place, and it transforms people. It really, really does. So again, I truly feel that Justin Bieber, I almost did it again, that Justin Bieber needs that spiritual help. He is definitely going down that wrong path, and it's really going to affect him. And I feel that we're going to see that happen by the end of the year. You know, I really want him to be able to get his life together, but he has to go more so on a spiritual route. And you can always tell when somebody's in trouble. You can tell when they're trying to look for that out, and he is trying to look for that out. This is a man who suffers emotionally and physically, and it's so sad to watch him. You know, just a couple of days ago, I saw some videos of his on YouTube. I want to say he was on the Ellen show, and you can see the innocence. You can see that. And then once he became a celebrity and he went to someone's home and he met up with all these other adults, he was exposed to nothing but negativity, nothing that was going to be positive for him, but instead it was going to be hurtful. And things that happen to kids, even to adults, that they are not ready to handle mentally, then later on in life, that kind of starts to show itself. And again, we can see that. We can already see that. We've already seen celebrities who have done the exact same thing. They're now starting to show that, which is, look at Britney Spears is one. Amanda Bynes, I think that was her name, Amanda Bynes. And there's so many others. And this is because of the abuse, mental and physical abuse that they have all sustained. And it isn't until later on where people think that they just totally lost it. What's going on with them? They must be on drugs. Well, it's the after effects. I wouldn't say it's the side effect of what they have experienced. It's a side effect of having that hurtful and negativity around them. I'm sorry, but no kid should be spending the night at a grown man's house. Okay? If somebody came and said, hey, can your son come spend the night at my house? A grown man. Even now, how, like I said, my son's going to be 16. He's a 2nd degree black belt. He's a 1st degree black belt in Krav Maga. So my son definitely can take care of himself. My son can definitely kick ass. But why would I want to put him in that predicament? Why would I want to allow that situation to even come anywhere near my son, regardless if he can take care of himself or not? So why did Justin Bieber's mom feel that was okay? I don't get it. Because now is the time where it's all showing. And like I said, we've seen it. We have seen it. And it's really, really sad because this is a young boy who is now a young man. He's married, he has a child, and he is hurting in every aspect of his being. So, it's so important that he does get the much needed help that he needs, because as I mentioned before, he's going to take the fast route and it's going to hit him very, very hard. I'm pretty sure we're all going to see something by the end of the year. He has a beautiful wife. He has a beautiful baby. But you can tell that he's not right. You can tell that he needs help. You can tell that he needs to have that therapy. He needs to have spiritual intervention. He truly does. And again, if you are not aware of the type of music Justin Bieber actually does, listen to some of his songs. Compare his songs from when he first started up to now. And no one can say that he is not under a tremendous amount of stress. I can't even imagine how much stress he has endured just since Diddy went to jail. I'm pretty sure he does not want to be, he doesn't want to have any part of what's going on. He doesn't want people to know what has happened. He does not want to know he don't want people to know what he endured. But again, he is hurting. He is under a tremendous amount of stress. And I think it was 3-4 years ago when he actually developed Bell's palsy, which is when one side of your face kind of like droops. It's kind of like, it's not a stroke, but it kind of resembles the symptoms of a stroke. The eye is drooping, the mouth is drooping, you just have no feeling, no sensation. And it has, like I said, the signs as if someone had a stroke. But that is all due from stress. How can someone who's so rich, so famous, have this amount of stress? Think about that. Just think about what he has endured since he has become a celebrity. And sometimes people say, well, look how he is with the paparazzi. How is this even okay? Look, he's going through something. Okay, first of all, I would not want the paparazzi being every single place that I was at. I would not want the paparazzi showing up at a place if I was going to go work out, if I was going to go have, breakfast, lunch, or dinner with friends or with family or, with my wife and my kid. They're everywhere. They are absolutely everywhere. So I don't feel that has anything to do with what's going on now. I just think it's frustration. Everywhere he turns, they're snapping pictures. And like I said, I don't blame him for that. But he definitely does need to have some spiritual intervention. He does need to have some therapy. And, even though some people say, well, he smokes weed, it's not that bad. It just goes to show that even if he does smoke weed, marijuana, whatever you want to call it, it just goes to show that he still needs that in order for him to cope. That is like his coping mechanism, right? So let me give you an example. Somebody who is trying to stop smoking, I think they have like little nicotine patches, and what it is that it's like slow release of nicotine. So that way they can eventually stop smoking. And even when they do completely stop smoking, they still have that craving. They are still wanting to kind of have that cigarette, right? And that's the same thing with somebody who has used drugs and they are trying to fully kick that habit. No, I don't want that anymore. It's like that slow release, right? So kind of going back to, the marijuana, smoking weed. Not only is it his coping mechanism, but it allows him to kind of still not fiend or want to have those other drugs in his system. So he has a long road of recovery ahead of him. And I would not be surprised if we actually see Justin Bieber out of the spotlight for a little bit. He has a lot of healing that needs to be done. And, as I mentioned earlier, I feel that things are going to hit hard for him. Really, really hard for him by the end of the year. All right, everyone. Take care, stay well, and stay blessed. And I'm going to have to figure out this whole Justin Timberlake thing. Why am I constantly saying Justin Timberlake? There has to be a reason, aside from I just don't like him. which would actually make no difference as to why I keep saying his name. So there must be a reason. That definitely will have to be another topic at another time. Right, everyone? Stay well and stay blessed.